Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday's movement meditations. Hope you all had a good night's rest, feeling fresh today. So today's lesson is going to be a bit experimental. I've got a plan for it, but we'll see where it goes. This is maybe a lesson I'd really like to be able to see people, purely because it's a bit silly. Yeah, maybe it would be quite nice to monitor people kind of going through this experience. But if you can let me know your experience at the end, that would be great. Hello, thanks for joining. The first thing I'd like to do is just start off just gently closing your eyes, bringing your attention to yourself, feeling how you're sitting on the chair. And today we're going to kind of concentrate on the sense of hearing a little. So I'd like you to, as you kind of settle down in yourself and, feel that you're comfortable in your surroundings, maybe tune into your breathing for a second, but then just bring your attention to the sounds that you can hear in the room. Obviously, one of those will be the voice coming from the computer. But if I stop speaking for a moment or two, maybe you can just pay attention to what other sounds that are perceptible to you. And I think, along with any other of our senses and any other kind of part of us, there's this degree of signal to noise ratio. So when we have a loud sound near us, it's very difficult for us to pick out detail. Whereas when the sound's a lot more quiet, maybe we have opportunity for a greater sense of differentiation between sound. So as you sit there, as you bring your attention to your hearing, just begin to bring your attention to the muscles of your face. And so we're kind of going to continue to track hearing, but I just want to kind of go through a process where you kind of make some movements with the muscles of your face and maybe influence our ears by the end of it. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just lift both eyebrows very slightly, very slowly up, both eyebrows. So it's kind of a look of surprise. And do it slowly and take your time and do it a few times. Lift your eyebrows. If you need a demonstration, and just feel how that changes the muscles of the forehead. What you do with the muscles of the forehead in order to lift the eyebrows, and just try it a few times. Doesn't matter if you get it wrong. Doesn't matter if it's not completely doing what you think it's doing. And as you make that movement with your eyebrows, just pay attention to the kind of area of the face around the ears. So you're making a movement with your eyebrows. And you can see as I'm doing it, the lines in my forehead are increasing. So there's some sense of these muscles obviously being used in this way. And then as I do it, can you feel that as you do that movement, whether there's some effect on the face around the ears? Hi, Trudy. No problem. Welcome. We just started. The first movement, the first instruction was just to bring your attention to yourself, become a bit more quiet, and then pay attention to what you can hear in the room apart from my voice. And now we're moving on to just very gently lifting the eyebrows up and bringing them back down. Good. Okay, so take a rest from moving the eyebrows. And very gently, just lift the edges of the mouth into a smile. Just begin to lift the edges of the mouth into a smile, very gently. And notice as you do that movement, do you feel some effect on the area of the face around the ears? Do it very slowly, take your time. You can notice as you do this movement if one side of your face is moving at a different pace than the other. It's quite interesting for me because I can see myself on camera at the same time, so I can kind of track what I'm doing. It's not always what I intend. Good. Just do that a few times, making this kind of smiling movement, beginning this smiling movement, and notice kind of what's happening in the area around the ears. Is there some influence on the ears? Good. Then take a little break, take a rest. And now just do one side. So let's start with the right side. Just do one side very slowly. Taking the side of the mouth back towards the ear in some way. Good. And maybe you could bring your attention to the sound that you can hear out of the right ear as you do this. So using your attention specifically on the sound from the right ear. Okay, and then rest your mouth. Now what I want you to do is kind of squeeze the right eye. Squeeze the right eye as if maybe it's kind of coming towards like you're winking at someone with the other eye, but it's like you're squeezing the right eye and then letting it go. Just do that movement a few times. Squeeze the right eye and let it go. Squeeze the right eye, let it go. Again, keep your attention on the sound from your right ear if you can. And notice as you squeeze the right eye and let it go, is there some effect on the muscles around the ear? Squeezing the right eye, let it go. Good. Take a little rest. And now see if you can kind of bring your attention to your right ear. And using kind of some of those tools that we've just kind of looked at, see if it's actually possible for you to move your right ear. Like using whatever method that you need to. Maybe lift it. You could try lifting the eyebrow. You could try bringing the mouth into a smile. You could try squeezing the right eye. But just see if it's actually possible at the same time as listening out of the right ear. Is it possible for you to move it? What part of the face would you need to use in order to move this? Take your time. Do it really slowly. Just like play with it. Explore this. Maybe you've never moved your ears before. Maybe you have moved your ears before. Good. Take a little rest. And again, just bring your attention to the sound that you can hear out of the right ear. And maybe there's one particular sound that you can orientate to, or maybe you could orientate the right ear to the sound of my voice from the computer, or something in the room that's kind of making a noise that you can kind of take your ear in that direction slightly. And just think of doing that a few times. Very gently begin to take your ear in the direction of the thing that you can hear. And now it's often true, and I'm not sure if you guys notice this about yourself, but it's often true that people listen with one ear. So we have a dominant ear. So if I want to listen to someone, I actually turn my left side of my face to them. And maybe you notice that. Maybe you can kind of take that out into the world today and see if you have a dominant listening ear. So now just take your right ear towards some object of sound a few times. Kind of organizing your body from this sense. So in the Feldenkrais method, Moshe often talks about how we organize the body from the sense of the eyes. The eyes orientate ourselves, but any of our senses have that potential to orientate us. You know, if we hear a loud noise, we're going to organize our body in order to deal with that loud noise. Good. Okay, and then just come back to the middle. And then very gently, just see if you can kind of move the ear again. See if you can, without turning your head this time, see if you can move your ear by itself towards the object of your attention. Could you just make a movement with the muscles of the face that orientate the ear towards the thing that you want to listen to? Okay. And take a little rest. Very gently again, go back to lifting the eyebrows. Lifting the eyebrows up and then relaxing them. Lifting the eyebrows up and relaxing them. So you're kind of developing this surprised look. So imagine that if you just heard a sound and it surprised you. And you can notice as you do this, if one of your eyebrows is slightly slower than the other. And maybe you can feel as you lift your eyebrows in this way, is there a movement of the skin up on the top of the skull as well? Can you feel that you're kind of moving the skin across the top of the skull? And maybe you could actually do that actively. You could feel that you're moving that skin kind of, you know, with an effort. It's an action. Good. And let the eyebrows rest. And then take both sides of the mouth into a smile again, just a really light smile. Just notice how it kind of comes up into contact with the muscles around the ear. So like we can talk about these parts of ourselves as distinct and separate, but they're not. They're all intertwined. We don't actually have an ear. Good. Do that a few times. And just feel, maybe you can feel the difference now after we spent a bit of time with the right side of the face. Feel the difference between the left and the right. You're doing the movement at the same time with both sides. But do you smile differently on the right side of your face than you do on the left side of your face? Good. And then let that go. And then just begin to make that movement on the left side. So now you're just smiling on the left side of your face. Again, noticing, so, the movement of smiling, we do it every day, and that's really not the point. The point is that you're using your face in order to organize smiling. And the way that you're using your face involves muscles that can interact with the area around the ear. So just see if you can feel that. And maybe you can bring your attention to sort of the hearing in the left ear now as you do this. Does smiling change the kind of quality of hearing in some way? We've got this tube that runs down through the ear, the eustachian tube, down into the kind of the back of the throat. And maybe there's some influence on that as you're making the smiling movement. Do you feel like a kind of slight change in pressure or change in organization internally? Good. And then let that go. Take a little rest. And then just find a noise, find a sound in the room again. And just kind of take your ear, your left ear, in that direction. Whatever that sound is. And maybe it's not a sound, maybe it's just a direction you pick in the room. But just take your ear as if you want to kind of listen to that thing. Organize your body to listen to something over on the left side of you. We're definitely not in the same kind of position as cats in terms of their ability to like turn their ears like in different directions to listen to different stuff. But because we're upright organized, we do have a relatively 360-degree kind of hearing circumference. Maybe there's a bit of protection from the noise at the back of the body, but so just take your left ear a few times in one direction, bring it back. Just see how comfortable, how easy that is. Can you think back to when you did this on the right side? Was it easier to listen, like to organize your head, your face to something on the right side than it was on the left? Good, and come back to the middle. And then a few times, just squeeze the left eye, squeeze the left eye. Just see again, can you kind of influence the muscles around the ear? And does that change the sound that you can hear as you do it? It might not, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it does, but the question is there. Okay, now can you squint your eye? Can you squeeze your eye at the same time as smiling with your mouth on the left side? Do those two movements at the same time. And does that kind of get up into the muscles around the ear? Can you feel that that's influencing something? Good. Let that rest. And now see, as we did on the right side, see if you can kind of organize just your ear. Use your ear to orientate to a sound or a direction. So using whatever method that you want to get it there, but don't turn your head. See if you can use the muscles of your face, the skin on your head, whatever it is. Can you kind of internally organize yourself so that your ear moves to a direction? Just play about with it. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Kind of one of Moshe's favorite sayings was, if you know what you're doing, you can do what you want. And these exercises, part of the process of them is, or part of the benefit of them is just giving you more information about how you do things. And the more you know how you do things, the more you have a bit of control about what you're doing. So maybe we're not thinking about having kind of really mobile functional ears at the end of this, but we are getting to know ourselves in a different way. Good. All right. So now just come back to the middle. Come back to the middle. Let go of making that movement with the left ear and just hear equally on either side of you. Listen to the kind of the whole soundscape. And then very slowly, very gently, kind of take your right ear towards a direction or a sound in front of you somewhere. And then take your left ear towards it. Just very gently. And organize your head to take one ear and then the other ear. I want to listen with my left ear. I want to listen with my right ear. Good. Take your time with that. You feel the muscles of the neck, the kind of organization of the spine as you do that. There's a quote from one of the trainers that I had on my training, David Zamak Bursin, is that, and I'm not sure if he got this directly from Moshe or something that he said, but that we are in some way very precise measuring tools. So the information we get from our senses allow us to really kind of be very precise and measure and make discernments. So I was in a car the other day and driving somewhere to see a flat, and on the way I'm thinking about, because I like reading about stuff, I'm thinking about color. And when there was this beautiful field of blue flowers, and I forget what type of flower they were, but it was like a really big field. And in that moment, I'm thinking about how color is all perceived in the eye. The sense of color is made up from the way that light is perceived in the eye. It's not actually there like blue is not there. Blue is in my eye. And stuff like that kind of blows my mind a little bit and just shows how kind of complicated and resourceful the system is. The same with sound. We organize sound in some way that this sort of oscillation of vibrational frequencies, we organize it into speech, so you can understand what I'm saying, but all I'm doing is producing some vibration. Good. All right. So last thing to do is just, so as you're sitting and you're listening to both sides of you, just smile with both corners of the mouth and squeeze both eyes at the same time, and then let them go together. And maybe when you come forward from smiling, you can bring your lips into the kissing movement that we did at the beginning of the week. Squeeze the eyes as you smile. And see if you can kind of really get the ears to articulate on either side of the face as you do this. This is a bit of a weird movement, but see if you can kind of really kind of get hold of the muscles around the ear. And then could you take one in one direction and one in a different direction? Just see if it's possible. Have a laugh with it. Could you make one come forward and one go backwards? Good. So maybe that's something you want to play with for the rest of the day. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that you want to forget ever happened. But hopefully it was enjoyable. I haven't thought about what I want to teach next week, but on Saturday, I will be teaching a longer version of the lesson that I think I taught on Monday or Tuesday, Monday or Wednesday, which was the movement of the lips, the kissing movement of the lips. It's a longer lesson. It's done lying down, and I think it's just a really lovely exploration that kind of ties in with some of our I mean, maybe early childhood experiences, or kind of takes us quite deep in ourselves. So if that's something that's interested to you, I'll be posting a link either later today or tomorrow morning for that class. It's 1 p.m. UK time, and the link will be in the Facebook group. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Maybe it wasn't quite what you were expecting, but I'd love to hear your feedback, and yeah, just let me know how you got on. Or maybe throughout the day as well, you know, how you kind of relate to hearing, organizing your head for different directions. So great. All right. Hope you have a lovely weekend. And I will see you back here on Monday morning. Take care. Bye.